Welcome back, y'all. Subscribe if y'all brand new. Like, comment, subscribe. I always do that. I say subscribe twice, but please subscribe, show love. But just get right straight into the message. I'm picking up on energy right now that you were a villain in somebody else's story. Now, I briefly mentioned this in yesterday's message, but how were you a villain in somebody else's story? We were talking about how you have many villains in your story because at one point in time people had a narrative over your life that was predominantly, let me just say predominant, I don't know if it's a word, but predominating in reality, right? And people believe this certain picture image about you, right? I just had food, I don't know what this, but there was this image about you going around in people's lives in which they believed that you were, again, this is this whole cognitive dissonance series. I mean, honestly, I've been mentioning it like all week now, but you were a villain because they never came across somebody like you before, right? And I just got through replying to somebody else in the comments, and basically they were talking about how they can read my story if they want to from my vantage point. To which I replied was, a lot of times people do not want to hear the truth because your truth is their truth. And this is where you play the part of the villain. Your truth is their truth. People don't like the truth, right? The truth hurts. And in a sense, in their head, they don't know in reality. As I said in yesterday's video, you shine light in people's situations and areas of life in which they were never aware of, cognitively aware of, maybe on a subconscious level. But for somebody else to go and tell a person about themselves and shine the lights on their flaws and let it to be made manifest in reality, because they think they have this mask on, right? They have this social mask on, and you can see right through that, right? Who am I talking to right now? And so the very fact that you expose the darkness within people, you do that so effortlessly, and you do it by accident. Like, you're so authentic. The words that comes out your mouth, sometimes you don't really think twice about it because you're just being yourself. And that whole part in itself, to people, seems like you're a negative person, right? Cognitive dissonance, right? They think you're negative, they think you're so judgmental, and you are far from judgmental, very far from arrogant, very far from being a know-it-all, right? Because we know what being a know-it-all is, being controlled and possessed by the spirit of pride, right? Thinking that you know everything. And the spirit of pride is of the devil. And we are light workers. We did well in the light of God, right? And Matthew 5:10 says, those are blessed to those who find no offense. I'm paraphrasing, but blessed are those who find no offense in me. There we go. Blessed are those who find no offense in me. And so we know what's in me. So that Jesus said that, right? But what's in us? The Holy Spirit. Jesus is always walking with us. And so I was reading yesterday, in yesterday's message, y'all can read it yourselves, but 3 John verses, you can read verses 3 all the way down to 8. And basically, just in summary, being fellow helpers of the truth. I think pretty sure verse 8 says that we may be able to receive such and be fellow helpers of the truth. But here's the thing about you. You naturally walk in truth because you are just so authentic, right? And so maybe at a certain point in time when people were labeling you all these bad things, and this is the villain that they speak of. They were labeling you all these bad things. And so I mentioned yesterday's message, they make it a crime. They make it seem like it's a crime to be yourself. So maybe at one point you were questioning yourself. Maybe at one point you're like, dang, am I really this bad person? Like, dang. And you are playing right into their hands, right? Because here's the thing. The simple fact of the matter is that they lack accountability. But because because they don't want to be perceived in a negative manner, as ironically speaking, as you were perceived, because in their mind, the reality in which they created, the timeline that they created, at a certain point, they were the good guys. They were the heroes of the story. You were the enemy, right? You had so many people against you, and maybe it all started off with one person that you exposed. And so, like I said yesterday, this whole collective situation happened because it all stemmed from one person. Maybe say the ringleader's insecurity, but because they were so insecure about what you probably said about them, they needed a large crowd to make their insecurity be validated, right? Because they couldn't do it on their own. And so in order to validate their delusional mind, they got so many people, because they're so good at manipulating. They call themselves probably a master manipulator, right? They take pride in that, being that they're so damn good in just manipulating, pulling strings. But they knew not they were messing with the chosen one, and to be mess with the chosen one is to mess with God. To think that you are going to mess with the chosen one and win is basically essentially saying they're going to win and beat God. And last time that happened, it was a person named Lucy, right? Lucifer, and we all know what happened to him, right? Shot down like lightning, banished forever, right? And I know this message probably is going to sound like redundant, but this is not of what we've been talking about. But this, I'm talking in a manner now in which we're talking in a language where they're not going to understand. They think I'm talking in circles, right? The people, because here's the thing, and maybe this is going to resonate with you too, because we know the people who came against you still watch you. Again, I think I mentioned in last week's message, I forgot which video, but I briefly mentioned there's fake accounts. There are fake accounts. There are intermediate people who maybe softly or kind of mutual with you, softly associate with you, who are still like connected to them in some way or degree, right? And so maybe they have that, or maybe they're watching you. We know they're watching you. They still pay attention. Maybe even after years. This can be years, weeks, months, days. I don't know. But I noticed. Who is this for, though? Who is this for? Let me know right now in the comments. But understand this. They know. They understand that you're. Like I said, they thought they had you all figured out. And so not really. And so they had to really just, I'm losing my train of thought, y'all. But yeah, they had to control the narrative that they had for you at a certain point, but you broke the mold. And so now you're living in a time, the vindication in which they thought that you would not be living, because they really were so laser focused on, that's what I was saying. They were so laser focused on your defeat, but they're not going to understand what we're talking about, right? Again, that's what I was saying. I lost my train of thought, but the whole story, they think we're repeating ourselves, but we're not. Because again, we're talking about you being the villain, but really, this is a sense of they really have to hone up to the things that they did against you, right? They really have to hone up to the simple fact that, yeah, I was doing devil work. Yeah, I was doing witchcraft, right? And I said, you give nothing but love, right? You give nothing but love, and you walk authentically in your truth. And the fact that they took that to be bad, because all you really want is to see people do good, right? You just want to see people change. And we can't play God. That's one thing too. We cannot play God. We can't. I'm telling you, we can't, as much as we want to see people change, because a lot of times we get caught up in living off potential because we see something in somebody, maybe like something that they can fix about themselves that can make them so much greater, but they choose not to. And so really, you might be able to plant the seed, right? You might be able to plant the seed, but you may not be around to see them water it. It's only until you break away and they actually self-reflect. And it's sad because it happens all the time. When you're with them, when you keep telling them about themselves, like, hey, just do this, but they take offense to it because they think you're attacking them, right? Again, they go so hard to protect the image that they have in their head. And so to them, they don't receive it. And that's why you're the villain. They don't receive it because they have so much pride. And the reason behind that is because they are possessed by the spirit of pride. They are possessed by these minions, these demons that they carry from Satan, right? And it's Satan's job to keep a person ignorant. It's Satan's job to keep you ignorant from the light of God, right? And so the reason why we even have these type of conflicts, right? Why you're a villain is because you're a villain to the demons that they carry. You're a villain not to the person, but to the demons. It's not the person we're talking to, it's the spirit we're talking to. And that's why you have to give grace. Love the person, but hate the demon, right? When you talk about Proverbs 6, read Proverbs 6, right? The whole chapter talks about the things that God hates, right? A lying tongue is one of them. It's an abomination among them, right? A gossip, right? Bearing false witness unto a neighbor, right? Lying. I'm paraphrasing, but just read Proverbs 6. You'll know what I'm talking about. But these things, because I know people say, like, hate's not supposed to be, you're not supposed to hate. Well, there's things that God hates. And if God hates it, so be it, we hate it too, right? God hates sin in general. It's that simple. Anything that's not of him, hate it to the point to where we will stray away from such. Quench not the spirit, people. But again, they don't understand. You call them out of love, because a person who doesn't give a damn about you is a person who wouldn't tell you how you can actually better yourself. But again, people aren't ready to receive the truth, and therefore these spirits that you're dealing with, that you argue with, that label you, because it's really the spirits that label you a demon. It's really, ironically speaking, it's the demons that label you a demon. The demons, Satan lies. He's the father of lies, right? And so he's going to do everything in his power to label you everything that you're not, right? He's going to cause confusion. He is the author of confusion, is he not? Who am I talking to, right? And so really, they're scared of you. They're scared of the light. So the demons that they carry are scared of the light that you carry, right? Because of the simple fact they know if they get delivered from such, God is going to bring them out of Egypt, right? Metaphorically speaking, he's going to bring them on out. And he knows, the devil knows, he doesn't know the future, but he knows whatever God has in store for these individuals that carry his demons, right? Is going to be so much greater than what he has to offer. But some people aren't ready to be delivered, and some people aren't ready to face the truth. So if you're a villain in somebody's story, so be it. As long as you are walking and talking in the truth and dwelling in the light of God, God is happy. I'm here to tell you, God is so proud of you. God is so happy. You are blessed. Remember, Jesus, kindness, gentleness and goodness is one of the fruits of the Spirit. Never said Jesus was nice. He told the truth, but it doesn't say he was nice, right? Jesus isn't here to be nice. He's here to clean house so that you can indeed do better. All right? I'm not saying that we aren't nice people, because we're all most lovable people. Galatians 6:9. The things that the fruit of the Spirit, right? The things that Jesus naturally carried, we carry too. The Holy Ghost dwells within us. Love, joy, peace, compassion, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and control. Okay? That was all Jesus. But it doesn't not say that being nice is in the fruits of the Spirit. All right? But understand that love is patient, love is kind, love is not boastful, arrogant, or rude. I forgot which verse that is, but y'all get it. We're all on one accord here, right? But that is the main message. You're a villain in somebody else's story because they simply can't receive the truth, right? Truth hurts. And they love the sense of complacency because of the simple fact that they rather hear a comfortable lie. And a comfortable lie doesn't bring about discomfort, unlike the truth. Therefore, they'll settle for less and run with it. Now, I love y'all. God bless. And remember, it's impact over influence, baby.